Folks, this is a cannon firing. I need a certain level of enthusiasm before we can fire. Let's try that again. Good morning!
Good morning!
That was much better. Thank you very much. So my name is Brett. I would like to welcome you here to Fort Mackinac today. Joining me up here I have Jeff. Can everyone say hi, Jeff?
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Very good. Very friendly audience here today. Now Jeff is going to be showing you all how to properly clean, load, prime, and fire this guy right here. Model 1841 6-pound smoothbore field cannon. Now I know that's kind of a lengthy name to call this a cannon, but it's very easy to explain. Can anyone tell me why we might call this a 6-pound cannon? The ball weighs 6 pounds, that's right. We could fire that 6-pound ball up to 1 mile away, which for your reference is just past the shores of Round Island out there. At that distance, I have no idea where the ball would land. It is completely inaccurate. Now, we do have a slightly more accurate range of half a mile. Now, I say slightly more accurate because accuracy was kind of a relative term. That meant that we could hit a 100-foot stationary target 1 out of every 3 shots. And that was considered excellent with a cannon like this. The reason for that is because the inside of the barrel is completely smooth. It's what's known as a smoothbore weapon. So the ball that goes in just kind of bounces down the barrel, and the last little bounce it takes determines where it's going to go. And so that's why it's so inaccurate. But fortunately, me and Jeff will not be firing a cannonball here today. Now I know that's kind of a disappointment to you folks, and you can all say, "Aw." And we'd love nothing more than to fire a cannonball for you, but there are a couple of reasons why we cannot. First and foremost is safety. I assume you all came here on a ferry boat and would have been very upset if we had sank it coming into the harbor. We don't want to ruin anyone else's vacation. But also, it would have been historically inaccurate to do so. See, this is an 1841 cannon. We're 1880s soldiers. So that meant the United States Army saw fit to send us a 40-year-old gun that was completely inaccurate. What does that tell you about our military importance here at Fort Mackinac?
Not much.
There wasn't a whole lot. And that's because we were the headquarters of a national park. So instead of firing cannonballs, we were firing ceremonial salutes, just the gunpowder. We would fire every morning when we raised the flag, every evening when we lowered the flag. National holidays like Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Washington's birthday, maybe to mark the death of a president. Ulysses S. Grant died. We fired a salute for him. So those are the kind of reasons we're firing for up here today. We're going to show you how to fire one of those salutes, but to do that, they would have used 3 soldiers back then. You can see well, we're a little short-staffed. So I'm going to need a volunteer. Anyone want to help? All right, how about you in the purple shirt over here? I saw your hand, come on. Come on, right over here. What is your name, sir? Nice to meet you, Drew. I'm Brett. What hand do you write with, Drew? All right, you better give me your left hand, then just in case anything happens, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. Now, step right on up here to the back of the cannon and plug up the touch hole for me. All right, now what Drew is doing is called thumb stalling. It's a very safe position, but also a very important position. He's making sure that no air gets in or out of the breech of the cannon during the cleaning process. Because before we load the cannon, we do have to clean it out. Now, the first tool we have to clean out our cannon is called the gunner's worm or auger. This is a large double corkscrew device that we run down to scrape out any solid debris that might be left from a previous firing. We want to get that out of there so it doesn't build up. Now, the next tool we have is called the wet swab. This is probably the most important tool. It's essentially a large, dirty, wet Q-tip. We dunk it in a bucket of water, run it down the barrel to extinguish any sparks that might be lingering. You can imagine why we want to put those out. Jeff does not want to load in a new charge on live sparks. That would be a terrible way to end his morning here today. So, all right. How are you doing back here, Drew?
Good.
Good. Can you take your thumb off there for me? Turn around, give everyone a big thumbs up with it. He has done a fantastic job, folks. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you. Be sure to put that on your resume someday. Employers like that. All right, now I'm going to cover up this touch hole now while we load in the charge. Just 3 ounces of black gunpowder wrapped in that historically accurate Reynolds wrap. Now, historically, they would have been using a 10-ounce charge for one of these salutes, and they would have wrapped it in a cotton muslin cloth. But back then, they didn't have a park below them, so they didn't care so much that they would be sending burning bits of cloth out. But we do. So now we're going to seat that charge down to the crook safety ramrod. This is just one more safety innovation. You'll notice that there's a bend at the end of the rod. That allows Jeff to stand off to the side of the cannon. The 1880s had a straight ramrod. That's not where you want to be if you're, if there's an accident. So off to the side is better. So now we're going to roll this forward. And Jeff is now going to step to the rear of the gun and begin the priming process. He takes a brass spike called a gimlet and runs that down the touch hole where Drew had his thumb. And he's going to try and tear through that foil charge. Now he does that to expose the powder inside to a spark created by this tiny little ignition device. Now this is called a friction primer. This is just a small brass tube. It's full of black gunpowder, topped with a friction-sensitive material and a pin. Now that friction-sensitive material is like what you would find on the top of a Strike Anywhere match. So it sparks very easily. So when we pull that pin out, it'll create a spark, igniting the powder in this tube and shooting it down to ignite the charge. These are handy devices that were invented way back in the 1830s and are generally very reliable. They allow us to fire in all kinds of different weather. But with that, you can see that Jeff is all set to go here. So if you would like to locate Nature's earplugs, be just a touch loud, just insert like so. Now with that, we just have 2 commands to fire this cannon. They are ready, fire! Woo! And there's your folks' cannon salute. Thank you very much. Now, before everyone heads out, I've got one announcement to make. We have a walking tour that will be starting just a moment at the lower gun platform, led by Ted. He'll be taking you around the fort, talking about the history of Fort Mackinac. It's a great tour. I highly recommend it. Thank you all for coming. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day, folks.